It's just so weird doing it like this.
And we're in Yes People live and not so direct. So we're in the shed, well I am, and we are talking. I'm joined today by Will. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yes, after about 40 minutes of trying to get everything to work, I didn't factor in my Wi-Fi is shit. So here we are, we're on my phone.
Some technical difficulties, but we can't be stopped. I refuse to be defeated. So yeah, how are you getting on? How has your lockdown been so far? Of course, shit, but how shit?
The frustrating thing is, obviously, I got my job just before we started lockdown, and then everything was, when you start a new job and it just takes a while to get used to everything,
Yeah.
all the training, all that. So I've done all of that, and then lockdown, bang, came back, and then everything was going sweet, getting a few more clients, like everything was sort of ticking over, doing quite well, picking up quite a few more clients, and then bang, lockdown again. So, and then it just happened, and then it was again. I think we even had like 3 times. So it's been a little bit stop and start, which is annoying, but it is what it is.
I describe it best as a spanner in the works, is how I describe it, of everything, Like you have all these good ideas and goals and things to work towards, then it just sort of gets taken away from you.
But we're all in the same boat, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. And it's frustrating because there's nothing you can do realistically. You just have to do what they say, but there's nothing, it's out of your control, which I don't like stressing over things that are out of my control because, shock, I can't control them. So it's... I
think over Christmas as well, I think where it was over Christmas, I was saying to my mum that it just felt like all the things I think of as Christmas were just gone. Not everything, but for me, like the exciting bit is, when it starts December and everyone starts going for their work drinks and then you start going to the pub a bit more and then, do you know what I mean? All those start having those occasions a little bit more and then they would just strip back and it sort of felt like, oh, it's Christmas Day now, do you know what I mean? And then obviously a bit different as well. So
I mean,
it wasn't the best, but
it's all been one big blur for me, to be honest with you, because we had the first one, which is obviously not ideal, but at least it was hot. Then we got a little bit of respite, and then that got taken away from us again. So I'm somewhat grateful.
Like we keep getting a taste of it.
Yeah, it's like you're dangling that carrot, Boris. I'm fucking eating that up. But yeah, if anyone doesn't know, this is Shed Talks with Will and I. Will's a PT. I dabble. We're both sort of on the same path of content creation. So if anyone's new and listening, make sure you like, subscribe, all that good shit. Right, now that's out of the way.
Episode 4?
So I was about to ask you, I actually don't know how many episodes we've done. It's just...
all I remember, I think I said is 12 last time. So that would be...
I mean, sometimes we talk pretty often, right? Sometimes we'll be messaging each other and we'll just be having fucking great conversations. And I'm just thinking...
Podcasts within the
chat.
We're
just sitting on gold here. We need to get this out to the people. We have a duty for people to listen to us speak. But look, I wanted to chat about a few things today. We've got a few little sections coming up, as you know. But I wanted to just talk about sort of, obviously we've discussed lockdown and you're doing a lot of content and stuff around people obviously working out for your mental health. And I know that I bang on about this a lot, but anyone watching this and thinking, shall I go and exercise to fill my days? Yes, is the answer in short. So I wanted to talk about your training a little bit, just skim over it, what you've been doing. You've been pumping some iron. I know I gifted you some weights that actually saved your life.
I've got to be honest. Like when it sort of started, obviously I got into such good routine.
Yeah.
And it's happened twice since I left uni in sort of like August, and since then I've probably felt like the best shape I've ever been in. Not necessarily looked the best, but felt the best. You know what I mean? Lifting the best. Routine was spot on, and it got cut twice. And then I think when it happened, when the last lockdown happened by Christmas, I was a bit like, oh, you know what? Like I'm going to be a bit of a slob, and I'm not an introverted person, so sitting in my room all day, not that you have to, do you know what I mean? But like it was easy to get in that slump. So I don't know, it took its toll on me a little bit. So and then I discovered Money Heist, which I just rinsed in 2 days. So I can't lie, over Christmas was a bit slobbish.
Yeah. But I think
just like everyone really.
Yeah.
Just like everyone. I think go on.
No, go on.
I was just gonna say it was like I said, obviously I put out content saying, okay, you have to do this and do this, but sometimes I feel like it's a little bit imposter syndrome because I'm sitting there watching a series, do you know what I mean? Not doing something. But it's like what I was saying to you the other day, like I know that doing going for a run or going for a bike ride, even like when we went, or doing some weight, is going to make me feel 100 times better. Like, it's so easy to get caught in the rut of just like waking up, walking downstairs at like 1 o'clock, having breakfast, watching a series, and just like continuing the loop. But luckily, like you said, you gave me those weights, and like, to be honest, it was a bit like a lifesaver, because it broke the cycle of that. And like you said, it doesn't just come with feeling a lot better after that, whatever it may be, not necessarily weights or a bike ride or whatever it is, but it's just your juices get flowing again. Like, my content was just like, right, okay, let's do this. Even
100%.
halfway through my workout, I was just like jotting down ideas, where before I was just like stagnant in bed and nothing's really sort of flowing. Do you know what I mean? So in short, mixed, but I'm on the elevated path.
You're on the up. I think it's important for people to have a vice, I want to call it, something that you can sort of channel that boredom that we've all got, because the one thing we've all got right is fucking time. Like, we've got an abundance of time, so you're going to need a vice to sort of put that energy towards. And like, I've been through this before, but people often turn to drugs, alcohol, etc. But I don't want to sound like I'm flogging a dead horse here, but exercise is the one. After it, you just feel like a different human. So if you're listening to this, go and run, and then come and tell me that you don't feel better after that, or go and do something. Just get moving, get the wheels turning, people. I think people need to get a hobby as well. Like, you need, in times like this, you're gonna, I can only speak from my personal experiences, right? Different strokes for different folks, but you need something to keep you going. I need to anyway. I'm a hyperactive person. I need that vice that I want to see myself getting better at, because I just think, if you're doing something that you enjoy and you're not actively seeking improvement and getting better at that thing, then what is the point?
Standing still.
What is the point?
Standing still.
What is the point?
I say to a lot of people have said, oh, okay, I'm bored, like, I don't have anything to do, like, I've got all this free time. So a lot of people are furloughed. And I'll say, okay, go and find a hobby. Like, go and find something you enjoy. And they're like, oh, I don't know what I enjoy. I'll say, perfect, try everything.
Yeah.
Try everything until you know what you do like. And then people go, okay, but I've done this and I don't like that, and this and this. And I go, all right, sweet. And then there's 3-4 things you know you don't want to do. Cool. Yeah. Just keep trying new things. And then eventually you're going to stumble across something that you're going to enjoy, and then you can invest some hours into it. But the one way you're not going to do that is sitting there watching Netflix, telling yourself you don't enjoy anything, because then it's like what you said in terms of like drinking and whatnot as well. It's so easy to just fall into that rut and fall into that cycle of just waking up monotonous every single day, just repeating the same thing. And you look back and you think, I had 2 months to potentially do quite a lot, let's say in lockdown. I had 2 months to do a lot, and I've done nothing. You know what I mean? So,
and even if that thing's not like we're doing, I do my videos to keep me sane, no doubt. I edit them, think of them, and I like having a creative outlet as well as a physical one with my training. But even if that's not your thing, like, see your body as a work, like a project. Like, I like to visualize my body, right? Like, I want this. I see it as like almost like a car, right? I like to quite objectify it almost, and like, I'm a car. I want to get skinnier in this car. I want to lose fat. I need to do this. Like, work on yourself. It doesn't have to be other shit. People just often neglect this and just think that, I don't know what to get into. Why don't you get into bettering yourself each day by getting shit done? But like you said, it's easy to watch Netflix and eat fucking loads of cakes. And like I say,
like you said,
go on.
I was going to say, I think like what you said is a perfect analogy of like when you're working on something, the best investment you can make above all else in your time is bettering yourself, whether that's physically or mentally. So, like I said, instead of just sort of staying stagnant, if you see it as yourself as a project, and I think where a lot of people go wrong, especially, and I know you're going to get into this in a little bit, but where people make these grand New Year's resolutions, I think that's dangerous, because I don't think you have to have an overhaul of your life to improve yourself. You just got to pick apart things that you want to just better slightly, and then eventually over time you can start seeing these improvements. I think where people go, oh, new year, new me, they go, okay, I'm never going to drink for like the whole of the 6 months or something. Do you know what I mean? I think that can be quite a counterproductive sort of way to go about it sometimes.
And I just think New Year's resolutions in general, to be honest, they're a very I'll do it tomorrow sort of thing. Like, why have you got to wait until it goes? Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, why have you got to wait until it goes day one? And I'm like, all right, today's the day. Like, Monday doesn't have to be the day. If you want it bad enough, get up now and do it. And one that annoys me as well is people going, oh, I don't have time. All we have is time. All right, be it when we're back to normal society, we might not have that much time. But I saw something the other day, right? It was like, if I offered you £1 million to sit on this chair for half an hour 3 times a week, would you do it? Would you find time? And like, yeah, you would. You would. So like saying that you haven't got time is, 1, not true, and 2, poor time management. All right, I get it. I don't have many responsibilities. I have no children, but you can make the time. If you want it bad enough, you will do it. So I think sometimes people need a little kick up the arse. And the fact that it was Christmas is it was sort of an extended holiday. So it's somewhat of the perfect storm for people to get a little bit chonky and then try and taper off the new year. So I understand you people, but sort it out.
I think you're spot on with that though. In terms of making time, I think it's always easier to tell yourself you don't have time. But the truth of it is, and like you said, everyone has varying commitments. Do you know what I mean? The worst people in the world are the ones that go, right, going for a 10-mile run, then cook all these meals, and when they've got 4 kids and a full-time job. Do you know what I mean? It's just not realistic. But saying that, like you said with time management, for example, like I even woke up the other day and I was like, right, I want to do all these things. I was like, I ain't got enough time in the day. I said to myself, when I was working, I'd have my first client at like 8, I'd have my last client, I'd finish at 9:30, and in between that, on my toilet breaks, I'll be sending messages to people. Yeah, get home as I'm eating my dinner, I'm watching content, like learning, and I'm just thinking, I wake up at like a little bit later than I usually would, and I'm like, I ain't got time. I'm like, what are you talking about? You literally are just not. It's not you don't have time. It's not you're not managing your time. There's a big difference. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I see people that just they'll be on their phones just aimlessly fucking scrolling through Instagram, and it's like we've got time for that, and like that's not doing you any good. Albeit there is some good educational content on all the platforms, but you're not doing that. You're just looking at people in fucking bikinis and double tapping.
You have to look. Like the most shocking thing is, I had this conversation with someone the other day. Actually, is your screen time. And when I was at uni, and obviously I was with like all the boys and whatnot, so it was obviously but my daily screen time honestly was like an hour. Do you know what I mean? It was literally nothing. It was like I text my mum, "You're right," and that was about it.
Generous at that.
Didn't go on my like I didn't go on my Instagram. I didn't have Twitter or anything. It just sucks. I didn't have TikTok at this point, thankfully. But and then someone looked at mine the other day and I was like, oh my goodness, like your screen time. It was over the weekend. It was like the screen time was like ridiculous.
Yeah, mine's outrageous.
And I was like, but the thing is, what I said to them is, on my Instagram, for example, I only use my fitness account where I follow just people that are putting out information. So whenever I'm on Instagram, I've learned something. Whenever I'm on TikTok, like, don't get me wrong, obviously sometimes
I mean,
videos,
there's a couple dances that I've watched a few times over, but
do you know what I mean? But the truth of it is, and people will be like, oh yeah, right, but you are on there because you do need to have a look at what's trending. You do need to have a look at what sounds people are using. You do need to have a look at how long people are using text for and things like that. So what I would say to people is not necessarily like cut your screen time to like 0, but why not try and infiltrate your screen time a little bit with something where you're going to pick things up. Now, this doesn't have to just be reading the news, like when you go on your phone, but if you know you've got a hobby or something you enjoy, like let's take mixed martial arts for you, for example, if you're on your phone a lot, try and at least squeeze in some form of education. Do you know what I mean? And then at least you feel a little bit more productive with that time.
Yeah, you don't feel like such a scumbag. I don't know about you, but like you actually said it, so to be honest. So I'm sometimes hard on myself as well. Like say, for example, I get up late, but like I'll do a lot within that day. But I think if I would have got up like 3 hours earlier, I could. Like my days recently have been like up, do all my shit, do all my content stuff, train, and then try and get it all into like an 8-hour space. Whereas if I woke up earlier, I could do it. And then some days I'm like, you need to be. You always, I do anyway. I always have this voice like, oh, you need to be working harder than that. You need to be working harder than that. But it's just consistency.
Did you not have a question on how's your 2020 for you or something like that? I saw in your notes.
Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, we can move on to the questions if you want.
Because I was just gonna, what you just said there just filtered in straight away to my answer because I saw that there.
How would you describe your 2020 in one word? We'll start with that.
Oh, in one word?
Yeah. Then elaborate on said word. But let's go.
Erratic is one word. Erratic is one word I would use for 2020. Yeah. But the reason why I asked that, and I picked it out, I remember seeing it in your notes. The reason I said that is because when you said you're hard on yourself when you wake up, that is one thing that 2020 has highlighted for me massively. Is one of my weaknesses, definitely, and
Same.
I never sort of realised it before. Is applying like sometimes unnecessary amounts of pressure onto myself, or just not being satisfied with my achievements sometimes. Like I say to myself that if you said to me, what have you done in 2020? Like genuinely, like hand on my heart, I would just say I've like achieved like little to nothing. Like nothing. I feel like, okay, so I was at uni and I had my time with the boys and come up, like I haven't done anything like in this year whatsoever. And then I look at on reflection and I think I achieved a good graduate degree. I became a personal trainer. I've done both my qualifications. I wrote a book. Like I've helped hundreds, if not thousands of people with different pieces of content. And then I think when you look at it on reflection, that's not bad. Like that's decent achievements. But to me, I don't know. Like it just feels...
Well, I think we often compare ourselves, right, to people that are at the top, but we never actually compare ourselves to people that we perceive as below us. Because I know countless people, right, that they're alive, but they just exist. Like they don't work towards anything, you know. They wake up, they'll go to their job, they'll come home and sleep. They have no hobbies, no interests, and they don't ever do anything productive. Whereas me and you are actually trying to work towards something and better ourselves, our career, and actually help other people. So sometimes I need to actually look in the mirror and be like, do you know what? You're actually not a piece of shit. You actually work pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I just give myself a little pat on the back.
It's needed though, and it's the furthest thing from arrogance or anything like that. But you do have to find that sort of appreciation for yourself and what you achieve, because then ultimately you just give yourself no sort of encouragement or acknowledgement for your achievements. Do you know what I mean? None at all. And I know I'm like one of the worst for that. When like I was saying, I look back on my year and I was like, I've done nothing, and I think on paper,
hang about.
I've done quite a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what the problem is with this year though? It's which we'll move on to in a sec because we've got our recap of said year. But it's just all one blur. Like, I was like searching up things that happened in 2020, and I was like, that wasn't this year. No way.
No.
And it's just one big blur. So you do kind of get that side of it. Quickly before we move on that note before, I would describe my 2020 as somewhat productive. Productive is the word I'd choose. Yeah, I'll be honest with myself. I managed to put out a lot of content, help a lot of people where I can. So I think, fuck it, I deserve that pat on the back. Productive. And we're not stopping here. We're riding that momentum. Corona can't stop me. Boris can't stop me. I don't give a fuck. If you want something bad enough, go and get it. Do you know what I mean? So that'd be my word of choice.
Right. So shall we step on to the topics of 2020 then?
Yes. You lead and then
break down the tier.
Yes.
Okay,
so go on, sorry.
So what we've decided to do is break down the events of 2020 and not all of them, because there's not enough hours in the day, and steering a little bit away from the more political ones. Like I googled the 2020 biggest events and it was like this war and that, and I was like, not quite easy listening, so steered a little bit away from it. But what we're going to do is we're going to formulate them into the tier system. So we're going to have, like we have now, the 4 tiers. We're going to have, if it's in tier 4, one of the worst events, and if it's in tier 1, obviously not like tier 1 isn't good still, but one of the best events in the
It's the best tier.
We're going to go for, it's the best tier, yeah. It's what you want to be in. I would kill for a tier 1 right now.
Side note,
trim and a gym.
Side note, we will not be discussing any fatalities either, because we've lost some good people this year, so rest in peace those people.
No. That's what I mean. There's a lot on there that is not.
Yeah. We're not a political podcast. If you're into politics and you're listening, you are in the wrong place. Take the stage.
We're not getting into that. No. We're just not getting into
It's not why people tune in, you know. I'm not a politician, despite popular belief, but I'm not.
Right, should we jump into it?
Let's go.
Pick one out.
All right, so this is a good one, right? This is one I like. Tiger King went down in 2020. That for me,
I think.
Go on. No, go.
I was gonna say. I think that when I watched that as well, that was around the time that everything was sort of kicking off, if you like, and everyone was sort of acknowledging this isn't an issue just in another country. Yeah, everyone's involved in this. This is a big party, and I think the world bonded temporarily
100%.
over some psycho with some tigers.
Yeah,
and I loved it.
It made our problems seem a little bit less traumatic. Like, oh, you think it's fucked over here? Look at these people.
America's always got to outdo us. It's always got just one up some craziness.
Yeah, so
I've actually got a fact for it before we start.
Talk to me.
He actually, Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
But that's his name. I can't get the song out of my head when he's playing the guitar and he's just you know the one I mean.
He gets the fake Carol Baskin in.
He's little.
Yeah.
His country songs just get to me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
he's the best.
So his original plan, right, was because he only bred lion tiger combinations, because basically what he was trying to do is rebreed and bring back to life the saber-toothed tiger. So that was his goal.
He's a man with a plan.
Yeah, he was a man with a mean
and a mullet.
He was the complete package, really, apart from the psychotic tendencies. But yeah, so he bred only lion and tiger.
And the toothless husband.
Great of saber-tooth. Oh my goodness, we'll get into that. And basically, biologists said, yeah, it's completely impossible. You can't just bring a saber-toothed tiger.
He thought, fuck science, I can do what I want. Joe Exotic.
I slightly had a bit of belief in him as well. Like, I don't know, he was very, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, he's a man with a plan. And
it won't be for a lack of trying if it doesn't work out.
No, that's what I mean. I felt like he would have committed to that saber-tooth to the max.
Yeah, he's fucking.
That series is voted one of the most watched series in Netflix history.
Yeah,
ever.
It was just perfect timing.
I don't understand how. Yeah. Come on.
No, it was just perfect timing. The world was at a standstill, and Joe Exotic delivered. Everyone was like, "What is this?" And then it just caught on. Like, I don't know many people that haven't seen it. Like, I'm not even a big Netflix person myself, and I thought, "I'm watching this. I am watching this." I've heard
because you look at something on paper, you think, what do I want? And I don't really think there's a box that it doesn't tick at all.
No.
Like, whatsoever. It's got everything you need.
I'm entertained. Did you watch the thing after where they caught up with them?
Yeah, I did watch that. It weren't the same, because obviously...
No. You ain't recreating that.
No, I was just like, you got some iPhones and you're saying how you felt about the show. I didn't care much for that whatsoever. But it was just fascinating to think. What I thought of all of it is America's a big, crazy place. And I thought there are millions of Tiger Kings out there, like in terms of those sort of stories. Do you know what I mean? Not necessarily just tigers.
Well, I think in Texas, there's more tigers than there is anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, more captive tigers than there is in population. In
what
the
sort
world,
of stat is that? What sort of stat is that?
But Texas is, not that it makes it better, but Texas is huge.
Oh, yeah,
I wish I had the stat of drawing up how many times the UK goes into it, but it's just craziness. Like, tigers as well.
Yeah, well, I know you can fit the entire population into Texas a few times over, but that's how big it is.
I want a number on that. If we had Joe, I want to drop that.
Jamie, pull that up.
Is it Joe? Jamie. Oh, let's get that name on. Tier wise, I'm putting that in tier 1.
That goated. I thought,
I wouldn't
even argue with you. But I can't. How can I?
Carol Baskin songs, like, they were.
Yeah, like
filter came out of Snapchat.
Everyone was on it. You'd be a fool not to jump on it. It's mad.
You couldn't speak to someone that hadn't watched it.
Yeah, and like everyone just knows she's killed her husband. She's just out there existing. It's crazy.
She's still got a zoo. So I did a bit of research before we started, and she's still got a zoo, still kicking. She invited Kim K to it the other day. So
we should go. I'd definitely go. Where is it? I didn't know what. It's in Texas, surely.
I thought it was in Oklahoma. No, it's in Oklahoma.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I know that because I know a girl that's from there, and she said I'm from Oklahoma, or she said I'm from where the Tiger King is. That's your landmark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't need anything.
You're not known for anything else.
Where you're from? No, exactly. It's like where you're from. You go, Tiger King.
Oklahoma. Right, yeah. So tier 1, I'd have to happily agree with you.
Easily.
You can pick the next one, mate. If you got your notes in front of you.
I ain't got them written down, so you say them and then I'll go through it. Actually, I can't remember them off the top of my head. No, actually, I can't remember off the top of my head. All right, so I was going to say that one. That's probably the second one. Okay, this is not a political one, but it's a bad one. So the Australian bushfires. I saw
that. Terrible
so
time.
On here, but just some facts for it. So it was 25 million acres. Right? Oh. So to put that into perspective of the fire, it was the size of South Korea. The entire fire was the size of South Korea.
Fucking scandalous.
And I didn't write too many down because they were so sad, especially ones about the koalas getting wiped out. Like 30% of the natural habitat of 30% of the population of koalas were wiped out. But January the 1st. So this is what it was going to. I'll say one about the animals. So I think it was calculated that roughly like over 1 billion animals were wiped out, lost their life in a fire.
Billion?
Yeah, 1 billion.
Stats.
Over 1 billion. Everything together, which is crazy. And on January the 1st, which is just before the sort of fires happened, obviously bushfires have always sort of been prominent in Australia, but January the 1st, just before they sort of happened, the capital, which is...
Frozen, sorry. Canberra?
Yes.
Now that. I was going to say Sydney, but then I would have felt like a right tit live on air.
Canberra.
Yeah.
But in January 1st in the capital, it was the worst. It was the worst population, the worst pollution of all time, recorded on history. And it just comes. It just struck me as I was looking at this, and I was reading all these statistics, and I was looking at all these things that happened, and like I even thought about the David Attenborough documentary. I don't know if you watched it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Saving out. Oh my goodness, incredible about like saving our planet or whatnot. And there's so much. Basically, the whole documentary is just showing how we're killing our planet. Basically, how global warming is just impacted everything, and all these things are being. I don't even want to say predicted because it's more than predicted. People like it's just a demonstration of what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And then people are still turning around and saying like, no, that's not true. Like global warming thing.
Like, what do you know? Why'd they make that up?
But the thing is, as well, it's not a hypothesis. Like it's in demonstration. Like you can see it in front of your eyes. Like the worst bushfire of all time. 1 billion animals died. Like and it's not solely down to just global warming. Of course, there's other factors, but it was a large factor. It was like it's like what I was saying to someone the other day in terms of like the corona. This was predicted. Like it's viruses and pandemics are predicted to be X amount. You get a pandemic every X amount of years, right? And they were saying that with the increased rate of global warming and deforestation as well, you have to think of it in like simplest terms, right? So the Amazon is like that big to scale. Obviously.
About yay high.
And as it gets, it's about yay high. As it's just getting smaller, right? All that's happening is you're pushing these populations of animals closer and closer to the people that are living outside of the forests, right? Until you start getting animals and people mixing where they shouldn't be and being exposed to viruses and things that they never would have been before. So I'm not saying that without crazy deforestation that there wouldn't have been a pandemic anyway, but it just makes it probably gonna say it was every 10 years is now potentially every 5. Do you see what I mean? It's just an added sort of problem. And I just don't get how people are sort of standing there and like, no, global warming is no, like it's a theory, like it's like people
that still don't believe coronavirus is real. Like, what do you think they're fucking doing? Having a wind up, going, "Oh, got ya, ruined that year."
Honestly, like
that's your bollocks.
The conspiracy theories are out and they're right. For me, right? I've written it down here. It's like
I'm listening. I've got to turn
all these things. Oh mate, is it the one that keeps twitching?
No, fuck that one off. I thought it was going to explode.
You got a new one.
Give me anxiety.
Yeah, you don't feel safe in the shed with that.
Don't want to explode. I don't want to explode live on air.
All these things make for good viewing, though.
Yeah, Ross.
You see all these things happening, right? And then you see the results of it. So like increased bushfires, and then you see like the bleaching of all coral reefs. There's like 10% of coral reefs left in the world. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe even potentially less than that. See all these side effects. Sea levels rising, and then you see sea level temperatures increasing, which is bleaching basically the coral reefs. And then people are like, no, it's all a conspiracy, and it makes me think of, like, you know, when you look into the sort of diet side of the conspiracies, and people are like, no, like, this is the reason I'm overweight, and this is the reason, and this is the reason, and like the last thing they actually think of is I'm actually just eating too much. Like, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, do you know what I mean? Like, and they're just ignoring the one simple fact, and they just want to believe.
They don't want to believe it.
Else. I've got a slow metabolism.
Yeah, I just feel like sort it out. The information's there. People don't want to believe stuff. People like being anti whatever is sort of right or popular sometimes.
Exactly that.
It goes back to that sort
people
of.
Always want to stand on the other side, don't they?
People love to rebel, and I feel like it's just more prominent these days. Think, what is your problem? Like, was you not told that your parents loved you as a kid? Was you not looked in the eyes enough? Like, what is your problem?
It's like what you said. With anything, someone always, no matter what it is, someone always has to stand on the other side. Whether that is like blatantly obvious or whether it's like a more debatable thing, but someone, if you say red, someone has to say black. You know what I mean? Someone has to be opposite. So even when you have something as glaringly obvious as like the issues that we're having, someone has to go, no, don't do it.
People just love opposing stuff. Even like, you know, Jeff Bezos donated like millions of pounds, and someone was like, yeah, but if you work it out, like, that is only like 2% of his total earnings, so that's like me giving £3 a month to a charity. I'm like, he's given like millions of pounds. Like, what the fuck is your problem? People just love to be arseholes. There's nothing you can do that people go, yeah, that's decent, mate. Like, everyone agrees that you're right.
The older I get, and I'm not like I've got years of wisdom, but the older I get, the more my eyes are open to that. Whatever you do, and it makes it easier when you're making content, and just because it relates into sort of people that sort of put negative things, like, whatever you do, right, you will receive hate. Like, if you look at it on the surface of what we do, right, for free, basically, we put out information to make people feel better about themselves, like, and be healthier. That is what we do, like, on the surface of it, right? I will do that, and I will still get people that come onto my pages and troll me. And what sense does that make? It doesn't make any sense. So I think when I started making content, it opened my eyes more to that fact that people just will want to, whatever you're doing, like, you even donating money to charity, people go, well, you're just doing it because like you want to tell people. Like, do you know what I mean? There's always someone.
It's like someone. People are cunts, in short. It's up to you to not respect the opinion of those cunts. Find people that you actually value their opinion and that are going to better your life. So yeah, there's that.
And surround yourself with those people.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you're a cunt, fuck you. Yeah, in short. Not as elegant as you said it, but how I feel.
That's a good point, though. That's a very good point, because I think definitely one thing that I see a lot of now is you are always a product of your environment to some extent, 100%. And we've said about it before. And when you surround yourself with people that purposefully want to just pull out the negativity and jump on the side of opposing things for the sake of it, to be controversial with no actual like substance, and you start surrounding yourself around these people more, you find yourself just being more negative. Find that, like, it just radiates. Do you know what I mean?
Negativity is contagious as fuck, and it fills the room and it can drain it. So if you're around people that you think you're negative, and everything I do you're just like, nah, or anyone does, there's negative people, you can sense it. I can legit, like, if I see someone who's just a negative person, I can feel it from them. I'll meet them for a little bit, I'm like, this fucking geezer's like, you're just negative. I can feel it in your body.
Everything you do speaks about it, though.
Yeah, your body language
speaks about it.
Yeah, it's just oozing out of you. So yeah, it is important to surround yourself with like-minded, hard-working, dedicated people that are disciplined as well. I think that's fucking vital. And then almost maybe compete with them, but healthily. Like, if he's doing that, I want to be doing that. If that's healthy competition and that's something that's going to up your game, then go for it. Why not?
I think that's the best way of doing it, though, because like, even if you like look at me and you, for example, like even like when we started, and even now, for example, like, I've had days where, like, when I was talking about the other day, when I was just like in a fucking like slump, like, do you know what I mean? Like, not in a great way, and I'll be like, all right, Frank's done X, Y, Z today, and it's not to say like I need to be better than him, but it's like okay, like I need that boost. Do you know what I mean? Like I need, because if you're blocked out from the world, do you know what I mean? It's very easy to sort of hide yourself away. But sometimes when you're exposed, when you surround yourself with those people, you're like, right, okay, it's not I need to be better than them. I need to be better than myself currently. Do you know what I mean? And it just ups your game and it just gets you onto a level. But if you're surrounded by people that are happy sitting here, like it's very, very hard sometimes when on your bad days to drive there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can either stoop to someone's level or you can find people that are working harder than you and get to it. Like, I know countless people that are doing what I want to be doing, right, in terms of the martial arts training. And I look at them and I'm like, yeah, he is fucking getting after it. I train hard, but I need to up my game. So find people in your respected field that inspire you and they work hard and they're getting after it each day. Like, I need to be like that. I'm not saying you're doing that with me, but I'm saying that I have people out there that are just on job. Like, I'll shout them out now. Like, Finn, if you're watching this, mate, you're a fucking savage. Lonnie at the gym is a fucking savage. Like, I see these people each day working their fucking bollocks off, and I'm like, I need to be to that level. Like, these guys fucking want it, and so do I. So anyone, any field, whatever you do, surround yourself with hard-working, like-minded people, and you will go a long way.
It boosts it. Just the thing is as well, it doesn't have to be. I think some people take that and they.
Oh no, he's left. Right, I'm gonna fucking save this, you know. So look, I'm gonna carry on chatting because he's left. This is a bit of one-on-one entertainment. Some technical difficulties. Let me try and sort this out whilst I tell you a little story. So this morning I woke up, shock, and I could not be fucked to do anything. But I got myself on Instagram, watched some motivational shit. I like Goggins. Goggins gets me going. Anything really, whatever tickles your pickle, if you will, that gets you in the zone. And you're like, yeah, I need to get after it. Have a little routine in the morning. I like to wake up and I have my water. I neck that. I listen to a bit of music. I have my coffee, and I have that little 5-minute reset. And they're like 2-3 things that I do that sort of, they're like, all right, I've done 2 or 3 things for the day that I didn't necessarily want to do, but I've done. So that is a good start to my day. So yeah, it's all about, look, every day's a fight, right? We all have shit we don't want to do, but you need to just get up and start tackling the day one by one. I'm naturally an aggressive person, right? But I like to see it as a fight. I'm just chatting. Well, I saved it. Sort your
can you hear me?
Yeah.
That weren't my internet. That was fucking my AirPods, right? I haven't got the right settings on, so they push out, and I clicked it, and I fucking ended the meeting. But
First world problems. First world problems. I was just chatting. I saved it while you were gone. I didn't stop recording. Every day's a fight, people.
Okay,
attack the fucking day. Let's go. Go on.
That's what I was going to say off the back of what you were saying. I think it's. Let me try and. There we go. I think it's important. Not sometimes people think they have to overhaul their life to match someone else's.
Yeah.
And I don't think. I think it leads up to what you said. You don't have to be doing this. You can just look to mirror or to compete with certain elements of what people do well. And if you do that with a lot of different people that have a lot of different skills and a lot of different drives in different places, then overall you're going to be in a very good place. If you look at, take you for example, if you take someone that trains a very certain way and looks to sort of emulate that and get to their level, and then you look at someone that makes content a certain way and looks to get to their level, and then you get someone that sort of rests and recovers a certain way, even down to that sort of minor detail, and then try to level them on that, and then you sort of start not making this crazy. You're not trying to replicate another human being that does all these things. You're just trying to take like little bits of inspiration from different people, and you can sort of round yourself out a little bit.
Yeah. Like, you'll have friends that will actually bring value to your life. Like, they'll show you things, or they'll do things a certain way, and like, be inspired. Don't be ashamed to be like, oh, I don't want to go, I look up to him because he does this. Fuck it, why not? If he does something good and you can do it too, why not emulate it? It's not you copying them, it's you being inspired. Take inspiration from anywhere. If you have any intention of being creative or good at anything or succeeding, take inspiration from people, because whatever you want to do, someone's done it before you and probably done it better than you think you can do it. So take inspiration from that, people. But yeah,
I think so. To top off our Australian bushfire, which was where this.
How did we get onto motivational stuff from that?
No idea.
I love it. Gets me going.
went off piste. I'm putting that into 4 tier 4 that's going in for me. Like 33 people died, over 1 billion animals, 30% of koalas, and I love koalas. So that's and leading off of that was definitely an impact of high pollution. And
can we have a fun fact about koalas, if you know any off the top of your head, if you happen to know any?
All got chlamydia. All of them.
That's what I was. All of them. That's what I was teeing you up for.
It's all you need as well.
Yeah,
it's all you need. Another fact as we lead off of Australia.
Let's go.
We've got the koala fact. All of them got chlamydia. Fact. They actually, I'm not going to say that one. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
So put it out into the universe.
I think it's pandas. I'm thinking of pandas, but it's not koalas.
Koala bears can contract chlamydia.
That's one of my first videos on my camera roll. Obviously, for anyone not watching it, we know that which the majority of people, we were pissed up in a rugby club, and there was an overseas Aussie, and he's in the urinal. I've got the video.
It's a great video.
And he's just one hand against the wall like that, pants down as well, like not like slightly
visualize hard,
yeah, like just pulled down. You know, like when you're 4 years old, and you like straight down, like that's it. There's no ergonomic there. Literally by the ankles, and no, this is a strange
We're here now.
I remember like vividly, like, and I must have been primary school, like early primary school. I'm talking like year 4, maybe earlier than that. I can remember the exact moment I realised that you didn't have to do that. You pull your trousers down completely.
That is a strange detour.
As if that is a big turning point in my life.
Wait, you don't have to do that? Oh, fuck! We get some shady looks in urinals.
I can remember the entire process. But anyway, going on to the last fact about Australia. So in Australia, right, they've got over 10,000 beaches, so you could go to a new beach every day for 27 years.
That's fucking mental.
Quite a good fact, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
27 years. It's something like that with, it's not far off it, don't quote me on the numbers, but it's pretty similar to restaurants in New York City. You can go to like the same restaurant, a different restaurant, every day in New York City for like something like 20 years.
Do you reckon anyone's done them all? Like been to all the beaches in Australia?
I thought you meant restaurants in New York. I was like,
I've raw. No, definitely in America.
Probably 1 or 2 people.
Yeah,
I reckon there's a few people that have completed that.
In America, that's probably someone's life ambition. Hit up every pizza joint.
There's someone with a tick. Yeah, checklist there, guy.
Yeah, hit up every pizza joint in NYC, baby. There we go. But
that's what they're proud of. No, I don't think there's anyone that's done all 10,000 beaches, to be perfectly honest. No, because there'll be some that are like called a beach, but it's just like.
Yeah, there'll be like some niche little beach.
And no one goes there. This is another thing, right? So no one goes, like, there's nothing in North Australia, like nothing in the
What do you mean? Just land?
It's huge.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like, so this is it. So I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but I know at one point there's just no tourism there because there's not really anything to do. So the government were actually paying return flights. If you went to North Australia for X amount of time, like the northern part of Australia, they were like paying for return flights just because no one was going. Yeah. And I think they said at one point, if like China invaded Australia, they'll just let them have it. There's just apparently there's just nothing there like whatsoever, no infrastructure whatsoever. So
the Chinese, if you're listening, we know you are. Go for it. Go for it.
Chinese government,
yeah, they're definitely listening. No doubt about it.
Right.
Cool.
I'm putting that in.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So let's go, This has actually come back recently, and we'll skim over the rest of them. The clap for the NHS, which is always good. Has that come back, or am I chatting shit? So on Thursday...
No, I got notification from Deliveroo, and they gave out all the notifications last time. That's how I remembered it. But yeah, it has come back. So, but next Thursday,
Thursday at 10 or 8? 8. 8, yeah. I quite like that, to be honest. It's... I don't know, it feels like, like we're all doing something together, which has been a rarity in these weird times.
I think with anything in the UK especially, I think where sometimes we lack a bit of identity and togetherness in a lot of things, I think something like that is quite nice.
Yeah.
Even though like that's why, although I'm a big football fan, that's why the World Cup I thought was so good.
Yeah.
Not necessarily just because I got to watch football every day and England was doing quite well. That wasn't the point of it. But there was just so like the world, like not the world, sorry, the country, honestly, was like infinitely better. Like infinitely better. Everywhere you walked, it was. And bearing in mind, we pretty much like lived around London our entire life, right? So we're at sort of the hub of the UK, and what people say about people being rude and straight faced, like that is true. Like that is complete truth.
No cap.
And when the World Cup was going on, people were just happier. Like, people would talk to you. People would smile. Like people were just in a good mood. Like even people didn't even give a fuck about. Yeah, like even people that didn't even care about football whatsoever.
No, I don't. Like, if I'm being honest, I'm not into it at all. But I love it when that's on because it's just something to do. Do you know what I mean? It's something to get behind.
Yeah. That was it. Like the World Cup was just it. So when they did the clap for NHS, there was a lot of things that I thought were a little bit flawed in it. Not the principle of praising the NHS because that's the last thing. But the fact that even when you just went outside and everyone was sort of doing something with all the same goal, like it was quite nice. Like I feel like especially this country where we're so democratic, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, in some respects, but I feel like what we were saying before, everyone's just trying to do you know what I mean, back and forth to each other, like no agreeing, like so it was quite nice people just to be like, right, let's all get out and clap.
I might bring a pan out and smack it with a wooden spoon. I'm feeling wild.
That was
always one.
It is one of them, like, and we won't jump into it too much, but it is one of them though that after everything that's happened this year, especially, and we can clap for the NHS, and God knows they deserve it. Do you know what I mean? And I think even just being a little bit more exposed to some people that actually work in the NHS, like I saw it, not obviously behind the scenes, but like I saw it a little bit more for what it's worth. And it's just outrageous, and you have so much admiration for them. But
straight grafting.
The fact that you see like everything that's gone on this year and everything that's been going on, and you see like MPs fucking salaries increased. It's a bit of a
strange world.
Be like, oh, let's clap at 8 o'clock because that'll do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, get out my face with that. All right, well, where are we going to put that one in?
I'll put that tier 2.
Yeah, I was going to say tier 2
because the concept was very nice and they more than deserved it. Everyone that was involved with that, 100%.
Yeah,
but some of the things off the back of it.
Yeah, and like ultimately, it's nice, right? But doesn't do anything. It's a nice gesture. Don't get me wrong, but that isn't going to solve coronavirus, if I'm being honest, or get them to work any less hours. But yeah, tier 2, I'd agree. All right, so let's move on.
Nice idea.
So TikTok was created in 2020, which is a bit of a stat, really. For us, for anyone really. Anyone that's on TikTok, that's big. I don't give a fuck. That's big.
It wasn't created in 2020.
Was it not?
No, it's been around for a couple of years.
You reckon? All right, well, it came to fruition. It blew up.
Let's just say because it did. It has been around for a while. But yeah, no. You know what? I'm gonna Google it. I've got a fucking laptop in front of me because obviously I'm on my phone.
You're no use to me. You've been pulling some stats out your ass tonight. Yeah, so all of Australia is actually non-existent. It's one big conspiracy theory.
Let me Google it.
Google that. Pull that up.
When was... Mate, I can actually do this now because I'm doing it on my phone.
You have usage to me.
I'm going to say 2016. Yeah, 2016, yeah.
All right, well, it came to fruition in 2020, and I am...
It did blow. It did blow.
A big advocate for that app. So yeah, what are your thoughts on it, and where would you put that on the tier list? It's not groundbreaking. It's not going to change our lives, but it'll entertain you in an evening for hours on end.
I don't know. I think you're wrong. I think it fucking can change your life. To be honest, I think.
Yeah, I suppose.
You look at those boys. What are they called? The dancing ones.
Oh, the Sway Boys. That's what they're called.
I know.
That's what they're called.
Name.
Yeah. That's what they're called. They're rich as fuck.
But this is it. Like
their life's been changed for it. Yeah.
And you can look at this 2 ways. You can look at this pessimistically or like encouraging.
Yeah.
But I look at that and I think, you know what? Fair play. Do you know what I mean? Fair play. Like, you took something, you ran with it, and you're successful with it. I think it's a very negative person to be like, oh, well, they're just talentless and got, well, potentially in your eyes, but
people are into it. You know, it's
they're very successful off the back of it.
Who am I to judge? They're earning a killing. I wouldn't do it personally, but there's a lot of things that I wouldn't do personally that other people have done in order to succeed. So yeah, I respect the hustle.
I think there's worse things in the world. Do you know what I mean? I really do.
Yeah, it's harmless and
make money.
Yeah, get bread. Get your bread. So where would you put that on our tier list?
I think for us, right, I'm gonna put tier 1 on this. Just because, right, is if you look at it in general, it's just people dancing and puppy videos, and I'm a big advocate for the puppy videos. I
like the puppy videos.
I'm strongly on dog TikTok.
I'm fond of some of the dancing ones. I'll leave that to interpretations, which one I prefer.
Like, I'm into the dog TikTok, but on paper it is like that. But in truth, like, if you look at it actually from a little bit more of a sort of brand perspective, like, it's a fucking powerful platform. Yeah. Like, the organic reach and growth on it, as you'll be able to tell us,
it's ridiculous.
Is astronomical. Like, astronomical. And it was like what Facebook was like back in the day.
Yeah.
And now it's very, very much not the case. So I think where it's like this at the moment, you need to just exploit the fuck out of it.
Right, quality.
Day will come. It's day will come where it's it's harder to get exposure. It's harder to sort of get that traction. Do you know what I mean? But I think in terms of a brand, sick. Like, one of the best platforms I would say at the moment.
Let's go. But did we tier that? What did you say? I can't remember.
I'm saying tier 1 on that.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree. It's a powerful place. It's what you make of it, and it does keep you sane. So yeah, I'd be inclined to agree. All right.
Actually.
Go on. No, I've got a few here that are a bit political, so I'm going to probably give them a miss. Some of them are quite funny.
I was just going to say, TikTok is what you make of it, though. Because don't get me wrong, if you're literally on it and you do scroll through nothing but just twerking girls, like, your algorithm is just solely fixated on that. So you are just going to see that.
Stacks on the party.
There are some, like, very, very good pages that I follow. Yeah. Like, not even just like fitness pages. I mean, just in terms of like business pages and investing pages and things like that. That just like unreal. And once you start sort of like creating your algorithm to get that, like, it becomes a fucking powerful platform, like, for yourself development. Yeah. Like, I've learned a lot off of it. Like, don't get me wrong, there's billions of videos every day that are just absolute nonsense that you do not need. But there's a lot on there. It's, you make of it what you want. Do you know what I mean? It's like any platform, I guess, really.
Facts. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear 1.
Yeah, I'd agree. All right, so how many more have we got? I'm going to skim over this one quickly. Trump got COVID. Pretty funny. Not that great. Tier 3.
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, that fella. Jesus Christ. Less said about him, the better.
All right. Let's go. Oh, this is a good one. All right, Captain Tom Moore. What a fucking bloke, if you're listening, Tom. What a bloke. So for anyone that doesn't... Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know, he walked... How far did he walk? Oh, he walked fucking far, but he raised... God, yeah, Jamie, pull that up. Give me the juicy deets, because I don't want to butcher this. I do not want to butcher this, but he's an ex-soldier. He is 90 something.
100. He's 100.
He's 100. Oh, okay. So he's legit 100.
100. Yeah.
And he raised millions of pounds. I'll be able to give you the actual figures.
100 lengths of his garden.
Yeah.
He turned 100 the other day. I didn't know that, but yeah, 32 million he raised. I actually did have that on my
32 million pounds. It's a scandalous amount of money.
The thing. You hear that, right? And I think we're a little bit desensitized to how much money that actually is.
Facts.
Like, we just sort of hear, like, especially even, like, I take myself, for example, like I said, I'm a football fan. I'm not like the biggest ever, but like, we talk about transfers and all this, and it's like, oh yeah, he went for 60 million, 70, all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? But then when you actually comprehend how much 32 million pounds is, like, I've seen people on Just Giving and GoFundMe or whatever it is that have raised like 100,000, and that I see that and I'm like, that is big, astronomical. Do you know what I mean? 32 million is outrageous.
Yeah,
outrageous amount of money.
Yeah, I think if you don't put that tier 1, you should stop listening because you're a piece of shit and we don't want your views. So yeah, like that is just tier 1. Like there's no arguing. That's elite.
I think that again. I think the good thing about that was I'm not going to liken it to psychic because it's not the same.
But you can draw.
I think the good thing about that. I think the good thing about that is where the world was a little bit sort of just crumbling, like looking for some sort of positivity, like something, like everything was going bad. You had all those, unfortunately, all the deaths that were happening in the world. Then you had all the crises. Then you had all the, do you know what I mean? And there was like a small glimmering of hope, like, oh, there's actually some good in the world again. Do you know what I mean? Sort of a little bit non-existent in 2020.
Okay, I can get behind this for sure. 100-year-old man raising that amount of money for charity. Yes, I'm all over it. And yeah, like you said, it brings that unity and everyone's like, yeah, good shit. So yeah, that is tier 1 and that will wrap it up for that section. We hope to do more sections like that in the future. I think to finish, we've got some, I hate saying this, we've got some fan questions, but we've got some supporter questions because we ain't got no fans, we've got no ground. But
fans on.
The fans again. All right, so yeah, we'll just go through these questions. So we've already skimmed over this one, but do you, I'll go after you, have any New Year's resolutions?
I'm a bit prick and answer this how no one's going to want to hear this.
Go on.
But like what we said is, what I say in fitness, right? What I say in workouts, what I say in everything. If you try and boil the ocean, you're gonna fail pretty fucking quickly.
Great saying.
I mean, like I used the one the other day, and it's nicked off Gary V, but I might claim it as mine. Don't boil the ocean, boil a beaker. If you try and do everything in depth, it's going to be very, very difficult. Take a small segment and look to just nail that. And I think where people go wrong in their New Year's resolutions is they're trying to boil the ocean, and they're out their depth. Do you know what I mean? So I've looked to, and this week as well, I've got my to-do list is, like the manifestation things. I've been seeing a lot of that recently. So I'm gonna break down my manifestations into just smaller, like short, medium, long-term goals. Over the year at least, and then a little bit longer, and then go from there. So nothing as of yet, but in short, it'll be more. To be perfectly honest, it's going to be more things about consistency. There's going to be more things in terms of establishing routines and achieving certain things on different platforms, not necessarily just like get to this amount of followers, but create certain pieces of content that I want to see as well. So that's my one. Go on.
I think chasing numbers is never great. Of course you can, but this is the quote of the day, right? So when you start something, you're not going to be good at it, so you need to be a disaster before you're a master. Whoa, I can't drop this mic, but if I would, I could. But look, so I'm not one for New Year's resolutions, but I am one for goal settings. So my goals this year, like COVID permitted, is I want to get my blue belt in jiu-jitsu. I want to have at least one fight under my belt and just keep doing what I'm doing, to be honest with you. No set goals in particular. I have those two and just see where it takes me. And that's it, really. Nothing noteworthy, just those two things. But of course, it's all COVID permitting, but I'm just going to keep working hard, see where I end up, I think half the battle is sort of turning up, just getting shit done. And then
I think again, like what you said, I think where people sometimes go a little bit off is they try and even do things that they just go on these wild adventures of New Year's resolutions, where sometimes they overlook what they're actually doing currently quite well, and maybe just say, right, okay, let's just continue doing that very well. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? If you're you've improved something, you're getting more consistent at it, why not just try and at least set a goal for the short term of getting better at it? Just there, because a lot of people I've been speaking to about New Year's resolutions, they're saying, I was speaking to someone the other day, it was a boy we know, and he was like, oh, New Year's resolutions, and he was saying, right, I'm going to go to the gym. I think he said, I'm going to start going to the gym 4 times a week, every week. I was like, right, okay, cool. How many times a week do you go now? And he was like, well, I go 3 times a week, but quite
sporadically.
A lot of weeks is 2. And I was like, why don't you actually just set the goal as trying to nail 3 times a week? He was like, no, because I know I can go 4 times a week. I was like, I know I could go 7 if I actually push myself there, but that's not the point of it. Get yourself to a consistent number there and work off that. And you're like, oh, okay, that's a fair point, because, do you know what I mean?
Small increments. You're laying that brick each day, building that fucking house.
Exactly that, isn't it?
Laying that brick. All right, question number 2. Like, you're gonna, I don't know what you're gonna say actually. Are cheat meals healthy?
Yeah.
Shoot.
You want me to go?
Shoot. I'll go if you want. Yeah, go on.
It depends. Like, it really, really does depend, because like anything, right? And this is the truth of it. Like, with anything in fitness, health, nutrition, anything like that, most of it, there's strict science to a lot of things within it, but a lot of it is subjective. Like, it's completely subjective. So what I would say is there's 2 approaches to a cheat meal, right? You have option A. You have people that enjoy and they want to be very disciplined with numbers. Like, for me personally, I hit calories and I hit protein. They're the most important things, and I let the rest take care of itself. But saying that, there's people that love to hit those numbers, not love to, but need to hit those numbers, need to have that to strive to. So you have those people that like to be that regimented, because that's what gives them their routine and their consistency. So for them, they need to have that sort of cheat meal. And now a cheat meal is not necessarily going thousands over your calories, but just maybe something a little bit over, just maybe something a little bit more gluttonous than it usually be.
Gluttonous, I love that word.
Yeah,
I'm a glutton. I am a glutton.
It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
La, la, la.
I just think of a pig rolling shit. Glutton. It's me.
Do you know a fact? Pigs don't have sweat glands. So you know when people like say you stink like a pig, they don't actually sweat. They may roll around in mud. They're quite a clean animal.
they don't stink, but the shit they roll in does.
You know what I mean? So technically, like, I don't get how
you're flawed there, mate. You're flawed. Go on.
So you have person type A, right? And then I would argue cheat meals are very, very good there. And when I say cheat meals, again, it's not going thousands over your calories. Let's call it a refeed, maybe it's a little bit. And I think very important, very healthy for it. And then you have person B, which takes someone like me, for example, who takes a much more flexible approach. If I have to be very regimental, I don't vibe with that very well. I just don't enjoy that. So I then have a much more flexible approach where I hit my calories and hit my protein and sort of let the rest take care of itself. I like to get that through nutrition meals, but I don't beat myself up if it's something that would be considered a cheat. So I think for me, I would never have a cheat meal as per se, but that's me.
Different strokes for different folks.
Exactly that. Like, I'm never going to sit there and count how many carbs or how much fat I've had, but people need to do that sometimes. And wherever you fall on that line and whatever works for you is the approach you need to take.
Full of rhymes today, but whatever tickles your pickle. For me, right, I'll restrict myself for a little bit, and then don't get me wrong, the foods I'll eat will be nice, but I need that little bit of respite to sort of go hard for a bit and go, all right, let's get back on it. Like, I need that sort of strict, flexible. I need those little respites for me. But then ultimately you're doing it over a long time, so you'll be consistent with it. So again, to echo what you said, whatever works for you. Another rhyme, whatever floats your boat. Full of them today.
Whatever floats your boat. It really is
full of them today.
This is what I say to people, and I try to stress it. And when you don't know, you don't know. So you're never going to know the answer.
Yeah.
But there are certain limiting factors in fitness and in workouts or whatever that are objective, like objective truths. Like, there are a certain amount. The rest of them, pretty much all this space here, is largely subjective.
Yeah.
When should I eat that? Like, should I do that many of that? Like, can I do that exercise here? How can I do that many work? Largely all subjective.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of it. There are some objective truths, but largely subjective.
Yeah. So, like, people need to just do it and stop worrying about whether they should or not. Do you know what I mean? It's like, are you actually gonna do it though?
Yeah, like, I think you're 100% right. I get people in my DM saying, right, okay, like, I'm starting the gym, and right, I need to get this perfect, and I want to do that, and I want to do that. And I'm like, whoa. Let's just rock up one day and actually go and just like look to improve our diet a little bit better, because you're trying to do everything.
Yeah.
Let's actually just get the ball rolling. Do you know what I mean? And I think people are just setting out for perfection before they've even started. People are trying to run a marathon and they can't even fucking walk at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
We ain't boiling oceans. We ain't boiling oceans. We're popping the kettle on. We're popping the kettle on. I'll have bound to a
yeah, right. That's me for cheat meals.
Cool. Let's change the tone a little bit. What is the largest animal that you or me could single-handedly cling film to a tree? I've got my answer ready, so I'll happily go first. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could do a dog. I think they're too strong. They can bite me. I could do a cat, but for anyone that doesn't know, I'm fucking petrified of cats. Like, I hate cats. I'm scared of them. But if someone said to me, look, here's £1 million, go and cling film that cat to the tree, guess what? That cat is going to be on the tree. So I'd say no bigger than that. I don't even know what animal you'd class as bigger than a cat, and like a mountain lion, that would kill me. A dog would be too big. Like I'd be shit scared of a fox. They're more scared of us, but I hate foxes as well. I just think like they're just so rogue. I don't know where I stand with them. I feel like it just like
every time I look at them, right? Every time I look at them, don't get me wrong. I know they're feral, but like I just look at their coat, like their hair,
so rogue,
and I just think, oh, like you need a good bath.
Yeah,
like, that's all I think. I know that's a weird thought, and you know what? Just a little off on a tandem.
Go on.
And I'm sure there's actually going to be a lot of people that can relate to this, because I started saying it as like thinking people were going to laugh at me, and everyone's like, fucking realise that. Back in the day, right? I'm talking when we were younger.
Yeah.
Right? Foxes, right? You heard of them. They were like a little bit of an enigma. Like, the foxes have been at the bins. Did you see them? Nah, I just heard them. And they ran off. They fucked the bins up. And maybe like if you looked in the garden at a certain time, you glance a little fox. Nowadays, mate, they don't give a fuck. They have like their population, mate, must have gone like that.
Yeah, mate.
Everywhere. They stare you down.
Do you never hear them shagging? Yeah. They're always at it. That's why. It's the worst thing.
Jealous?
No, but it sounds like someone being assaulted. I think sometimes I think, fuck, what's going on out there? It's just the foxes again. It's horrible. Yeah.
Mate, every time I hear that, I think, oh,
yeah.
Not that could be me.
But
be me doing it.
I'd love to.
I think at least someone is.
Yeah,
at least someone is. But no, honestly, nowadays they stare you down. They're like move towards you. The other day, I tried to get in Max's car.
They're grand moxie. They're grand moxie.
Honestly, like the fact there's like 2 chickens for everyone on Earth. So there's like 16 billion chickens or something in the world. I feel like in the UK we're getting close to that with foxes. Do you know what I mean? Like we are getting close to that. But in terms of my animal, anyway, that's a random one. But you say a dog, right? But dogs are a lot of sizes. Do you know what I mean? I'm pinning a chihuahua there.
Yeah.
Stress. Like James's dog's that little pincer thing.
Yeah, but I feel like dogs are more likely to attack than a cat will scratch. Do you know what I mean? But like a dog will bite. Yeah. So it's more like a little yappy dog is going to chew your hand off.
You think though, a little yappy dog, if it sinks his teeth, a little yappy dog,
you could like maybe even trick it and be like, oh, come here, oh, you look good on this tree, and fucking grab him up.
Walkies.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, is there money involved, or do I just have to
It's like like if your life depended on it, or £1 million, you've got to get the.
So
I tell you what,
all right, cool.
You get £5,000 for every pound this animal weighs. So the bigger the animal, the more money you get. That's a much
better way of doing it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm thinking like just go and
sizzle.
People go on. Like if you think about it, right? So you're threat to the
go
teeth,
hard or go yard.
Arms, and it's hard to like. You can't really die too much on the arm. Do you know what I mean? If they go for the arm, there's a lot of them are. So,
no, if they get your veins, you're fucked.
I'm thinking like, can you choke it out and stuff? Maybe.
Good luck with that. Maybe I don't know.
Anything with hooves is out of bounds, because as soon as they start kicking, like that is pain. So I'm thinking
knock out a horse. It's like retarded. Like goat. No, a goat. I could do a goat, because you scare it, they faint. Have you seen that? That's
a certain type of them though. Yeah, well, they're not all like that.
That goat then. That breed of goat, the fainting goat.
Did I tell you when we was in Prague with the goats? Did I tell you about this?
No.
Again, a little tangent, but it's quite funny.
It's good.
Me and Max went to this little goat enclosure, right?
That's great.
And there's a photo of it, and there's like literally fucking hundreds of goats. I'm not even joking, hundreds of them. Baby ones, big ones, horn ones, all
fainting ones.
And you like, yeah, no faint. Well, I didn't see any faint, but like you just climb in, like just climb over the little gate, and you can just like feed them or whatever. And the geezer that was in the enclosure was like, he looked exactly like Santa, like off-duty Santa. We was in there in the summer, so I'm convinced it was him.
He collects goats.
And he went, right, yeah, 5 o'clock, see you later. Climbed out of the enclosure and went on. So like me and Max are in this enclosure with like 100 goats, right? Just like at our disposal.
Yeah.
Like, just very, very strange. So
I'd love that.
We've got a couple like picking them up and that, just like chilling with them. But they're a bit scatty. Like,
yeah,
that's why I'm saying it, because even like, you think, oh, it's not so. Oh my god.
What?
Some geezer just messaged me on Instagram called Alex Goat.
There we go.
If you're listening to this, Alex Goat, mate, you're freaky as fuck.
Yeah.
But
tell him to listen.
Yeah, when you're dealing with it.
And subscribe.
Yeah, you got it because you're mentioning it. Yeah, they're a little bit scattier than you think. So I'm gonna say like a. I don't know, like I fancy myself against like a Bambi or something.
Yeah, but like a goat is like kind of retarded. Like I feel like they wouldn't put up that much fight. If you like.
They're not that heavy though.
Yeah. Oh shit! Do you reckon a dog's heavier than the goat? Depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say like a whippet.
What's a whippet?
Definitely do a whip. Like a dog, it's a greyhound, mate. Can they run away?
Yeah, they're an animal.
Yeah, it can't be just subject.
Yeah, it can't be a limp animal. That's half the battle. If they're gonna let you, I'll do a bear. I'll get a grizzly on the tree.
I'm gonna say a dog, but like a slowish one, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One with like a little fucking leg or something, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. My dog. You could get my dog, definitely.
Yeah, awful.
You just sit there all day, fat bastard. Alright, cool.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, mine's a cat. I don't want to do a dog. Alright, this is actually quite an interesting one. Yeah, I'll do this one. Yes. So, someone asked me about performance enhancing drugs, your opinion on them, your experience with them, not that you've taken them, but like whether you've been offered them, you've been around them, anything like that, just your general thoughts. Yeah, I thought it was quite interesting.
So a couple of parts that answering those questions. My thoughts on them are completely like go for it, do you, and I don't care. Like I think the equivalent of if someone goes out on a Saturday and gets on it, whatever it is, like
it's a bag of the old devil's dandruff up their hooter.
What was it? Marching powder, seeing dust,
Columbia marching powder, devil's dandruff, booger sugar, you name it. I got cocaine.
Kenny Jackett's my favourite. Kenny Jackett.
Yeah, Kenny Jackett's good.
Millwall manager. But yeah, like I don't care. The only thing I would say to people is like a lot of people that do it just don't understand the severity of the health impacts. And of all the people that I've ever seen, like at the highest level competing, they literally all unanimously say, if you're not doing what we're doing, like just don't do it. Like it's the risk and reward is just not high enough. So they say if you're not like competing to our level, then you definitely don't need to be doing that because there's just too much sort of health complications. So for me personally, I don't care. The one thing I would say, the thing that I hate the most about it, and it's the only thing I hate about it really, is people that go, and you'll be the same, people that go online and they're not. I follow people that are very open about it. Like they're sick, they've got good content, and they say what they do and how they do it and stuff. It's actually very important.
They're actually educating people on it.
Exactly. On the flip, though, you have a lot of people that don't say that. They put out all these pictures of them and like in certain physiques and whatnot, and it gets people caught up in a mindset that you can look like that or that can be somewhat obtained. When in reality they're using a lot of PED, a lot, and they're sort of blagging that as if they're natural, and I think that fucks with the psyche of a lot of people that follow them. So I hate that side of it. Yeah. And then in terms of, this is weird, right? So,
wait, where are you going?
Have I gone?
No, you're there.
I was just low on battery. It said. On my experience, so however many gyms I've been to, like different ones, like random places, like even people I know, like I've never had. I know of people that have done them and like get them or anything like that, but I genuinely have never had anyone come up to me and go, "Do you want this?" or "Do you want to do that?" Do you know what I mean?
Neither have I.
I had a funny one. I'll tell the story actually on my first day of work. And I was halfway through like my set or something actually, or I was helping a fella do something, and I had a little bit of a pump on. Do you know what I mean? It looks different to what your usual is, like just different.
I was pretty jacked that day.
Wasn't looking too bad.
Yeah.
And
shabby.
Geezer turns to me my first day of work as a PCM, my new job. He turns to me and goes, "Oh, like, do you do like protein?" I was like,
"I do protein."
I was like, "Protein powder?" And he was like, I was like, "Yeah." Like, I was like, "I have protein powder. Like, I get my protein intake in." He was like, "Nah, like, do you do protein?" I was like, looking at him like, "Mate, what are you asking me?" And he was like, "Oh, like, you know." I was like, "No, that's a strange way of asking anyway." But no, like, generally, no one's ever come up to me and said to me like, "Do you want this? Do you want that?" And the thing is, like, the way I look at it personally is my fundamental outlook on it is if I was to run a marathon, I'd been training for the marathon and I was running a marathon, and I took this 2 mile shortcut and no one knew about, only I knew about, right? And I just got an incredible time.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't feel good about that time. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
For me personally, that's my look on it. I feel like every compliment I'd ever, because the truth of it is, you still have to train hard, you still have to be consistent, you still have to eat correctly. So it's not just easy as you inject in and you're massive. It's not how it works, which a lot of people think that. But for me personally, I feel like every time I looked at myself and felt somewhat better, or every time someone complimented me, I just feel like a fraud, like a complete fraud. And the thing is as well, the last thing I'll say on it is, if anyone's hearing this or thinking about whatever it may be, is people that I know that have always used them, like properly, that I follow online or whatnot, they always say if they could go back to never doing it again, they would, just because not everyone.
More often than not.
So you like, if you go to the gym, like, you have, like, most people have some form of body dysmorphia, and when you're taking on the juice, right, and you start getting bigger, you start seeing the potential of your body, and like it just gets very infectious, and you just want to keep doing more, keep getting better, keep getting
chasing
better.
That high.
Where you do it naturally, there's not really much health implication to that. But where you're doing that when you're shooting yourself up with shit, like, the health implications get a lot higher. So it's a dangerous game.
It's a dangerous game. Yeah, I think so as well. And I think ultimately people are going to do what they want when they want. So you can only say so much on it. But where I draw the line, right, is obviously what I do, combat sports. When people are taking performance enhancing drugs in combat sports, if you want to run 100 meters faster and you're on some shit, go for it. But like, you can do some serious harm to people. Serious damage. Like, if you're injecting yourself with all sorts, it's going to make you hit harder, go for longer, all these things, right? You're not playing a game. Like, you are inflicting damage on another individual and trying to render them unconscious. So that, for me, would be the only time I say that you shouldn't be able to do it. I do think in elite sports, that's where the difference is, isn't it? Yeah, in elite sports, I'd almost say, like, things like athletics, I'd almost say do it. I want to see how far the human body can go, if I'm being honest. I want to see the freakiest of freak athletes get on some shit and just be so elite. I want to see someone run a 6-second 100 meters. I want to see someone jump.
We have this already, really, don't we? Like, you think about it, you look at the strongmen, like...
Well, yeah, they are the prime example of them. Yeah, they are. But
we're just doing it in a different setting. No, that's what I want as well. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we're not far away from it. Like, I'm saying, let's take the step. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think people are going to do it. People are doing it anyway.
Yeah, contact sports like rugby, I'd say no as well, because you get yourself fucked up. But yeah,
what you said about the physical harm though, like, you go to the gym, like, you're inflicting the potential dangers on yourself. You're going to the gym, you're lifting some weights to make yourself feel better and look better. Sure. Like, there is no real external damage done, but like you said, you start kicking someone in the head with 10% more force.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
that's
you're already a hard fuck, but that little 10% is like, people can die. Like, I see a video the other day, a geezer got hit in the back of the head in the boxing ring, just died in the ring. Like, it's no joke, right? And like, you're putting that stuff into you to make yourself hit harder and like maximize the risks of actually doing some serious bodily harm. It's not cool. If both people are on it and they're happy to compete, then go for it. But it's fucked up if you're doing that stuff and fighting people, in my opinion.
What I heard as well the other day is through Sonny Webster's one actually, is he he's sick. He basically was saying about this woman that got banned or something, I can't remember, for competing under PEDs, but performing enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
But the fact that he made is obviously because he was weightlifting, strengthlifting, or powerlifting, so it's in the Olympics. Olympians train 365, like they say, 365 days of the year. There's no days off. Like they train all day, every day, since whatever age to whatever, like for years, like throughout their entire life. And often, a lot of them get fuck all money.
I was about to say that it's corrupt as fuck.
Literally, not a lot of money in it whatsoever. And you have these, and then you potentially have this person that has just overtaken you only because, like, let's say he lifted a kilo more. And that potentially, and he comes under fire because he was enhanced, and when his medal gets stripped, you don't then necessarily get to go into the qualifiers or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? He just gets stripped of that, so you could potentially miss out on an Olympic place or whatever it may be because of that person. And to me, that is like that's a low. That is low. Like that's a real like.
That's someone's like you're ruining someone's lifetime goal because you don't want to work hard for it. It's kind of fucked up.
And you're diminishing like competitive sport completely. Like anyone that plays competitive sport has some form of respect of what other people do, no matter what sport it is, no matter what. Everyone has some form of respect for that sort of competitive element, and you're literally just like pissing all over that. Do you know what I mean? And just making a mockery of it. So yeah, I think 100% right on that one.
Truth. Couldn't have put it better myself. All right, mate. Well, that was the last of the fan questions. We've done our tier game. We had a good old chinwag as we do. I'm in the shed. Hopefully, we can get back together. You've got
a quote of the day.
Oh, I said it already. You've got to be a disaster before you're a master. I've dropped some fucking heat today. I've dropped some fucking
I won't lie.
You thought I was rapping?
My phone has been no. My phone has been absolutely fine this entire time. Nah, didn't hear it.
I even was like, I'm going to drop the mic after.
I didn't respond. No, because you said I dropped the mic after. My eyes just bulged like that because I thought it froze. So I thought,
what the fuck are you going on about?
I didn't hear it.
But yeah, people.
But as a late reaction,
you got to be a disaster before you're a master. If everyone was going to be good at shit straight away, we'd all have Lamborghinis, we'd all have massive cocks, we'd all have the job we wanted, the girl we wanted, all of that shit. The massive cock bit's probably not related. That's just a near coincidence. But my point remains: you've got to work hard for shit. You've got to work hard for it, otherwise everyone would do it. So yeah,
if it was like that's the one saying. If it was worthwhile, everyone would have it. Like that is it. Like if it was easy, everyone would have it.
It ain't easy.
So that just makes it taste sweeter when you have it. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna leave this one. You've had your quote of the day. I'm gonna go back to the day, right? I'm gonna pose it as a question to you, see if you get it first, and then we'll roll into it. What is the national animal for Scotland?
Fuck knows.
Go on, have a guess. Got to have a guess. You couldn't pin it to a wall with a tree with Clingfilm. No way. Or quite literally, you never would be able to.
The eagle or some shit?
Nah, it is the unicorn.
Oh fuck! Yeah, no, definitely couldn't do that. I thought maybe a bird, couldn't get it. Yeah, I didn't know that. That is your fact of the day, people. We've had some absolute gems in here today. I've been rhyming viciously, and yeah.
I'm just spitting facts. I haven't even had my laptop. These are just in notes.
Trust, this is all off the fucking noggin. That's what we do, people. So as always, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment below. Message us on Instagram at Will Hutchins TP, at FG Fit. You already know what it is. Follow us, support all our shit, people. We're going straight to the top, and you're all going to be there. So again, thank you for listening, and have a good lockdown. Have a good life. Will, anything to add?
I think that's pretty much it, mate. You nailed it. If you ever need anything, you know where to find us. Drop us a message, drop us a follow, drop us a subscribe.
We're on this wave of content creation. Other than that, we're out. Peace.
Love.